Okay. So let me share the screen. And last class we finished short-term decision making. This part,
Yeah.
fine. So today we'll be starting with the last chapter of this segment, which is risk and uncertainty. Okay. So now risk and uncertainty as a topic, it talks about what? See, all the calculations that we are doing, fine. Like for example, sales minus variable cost, so you get contribution, then minus fixed cost, fine, you will get profit. So we are doing this maths, okay, to calculate profit. Now we are talking about in this chapter an uncertainty, okay. What are we talking about? Like how much certain you are that this sales will happen, because these are all futuristic calculation, right?
Yeah.
All the historic data is done by the accountant. For that, you don't need to learn any new thing. All right. So what we were doing was all budgeted data, right?
Yeah.
All expected data, correct? So how much sure you are that this sales, whatever you have written here, will happen? How much confident you are that this variable cost will not change? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So now when we are talking about risk and uncertainty, we'll be talking about these things like how can we bring the uncertainty into our calculation. Even if I'm not certain, I'm not 100% like on this, still how can I do some presentation and do some calculation, budgeted calculation, fine.
Mm.
The main issue here is that, like from ancient times, we human beings, we have always tried to predict the future, fine, because then accordingly, like the idea is what, if something happens, if some problem happens, all right, have you, are you in a position to deal with that problem, fine. So what do, you anticipate the problem, fine. You try to, like think about the problem in advance, prepare for it in advance, okay. So this is what this whole thing talks about. Now in the chapter we have got so many new things here,
Mm.
all right. So basically, see, in this segment you will find the expected values, then there are some other decision rules, minimax, maximin and all that stuff, fine. And then using the same expected value, how you can use decision tree. So basically all of this is about probability. Then you have two new things, sensitivity analysis and simulation. So sensitivity and simulation has got nothing to do with the remaining stuff. The only thing is that they are associated with risk. That's why they are in this chapter. Okay. Now let's go one by one into this and try and understand what are we dealing with here. Risk means where you can attach a probability. I think that is what is written here. Okay. There can be a probability attached to it. Whereas for uncertain events, uncertainties, where there is uncertainty, you cannot even do that.
Mm.
Okay. Cannot be estimated with a statistical probability. So that is the difference between risk and uncertainty. Now, risk preference. There can be three type of people. They can be risk seekers who want risk. There are risk neutral people, normal people. Fine. Risk neutral means if you are giving me more risk, then give me more benefit also, right? Like the chances of making higher profit should be there. Correct? Correct.
Yeah.
So that is risk and return stuff. And then risk averse means somebody who is afraid, who don't want to take risk. Fine. So, like just to give you an idea of these things, if we take three situations, all right, let's say project A and B. Fine. The return is 15%, 15%. Okay. Now, if the risk is 10% and 12%, which option you will choose? A or B?
A.
Why?
Because
Because
risk is low.
risk is low. Correct answer. Okay. If I tell you this, which one will you take?
B.
Why?
Return is higher.
Return is high for same risk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what will you do? Which one?
B.
Okay. Fine. Why?
Return is higher compared to A. We can take risk, right?
What?
We can take risk. I
We
mean,
can take risks. Now see, this tells about your personal characteristics.
mm,
Okay. You are a risk neutral guy with little bit inclination towards risk seeking. All right. And this is not your problem. This is the age, like
mm,
till 30, you are ready to take risk. Fine. So
mm,
you are like, risk seeker because till 30, you want growth. You
mm,
eagerly want growth. You behave rationally between like, 30 to 50. And then you become risk averse. Now you don't want to take risk. So any financial like guy, financial analyst or anybody like that, if he will come to you, first thing he asks is your age, and then he asks your risk preference.
mm,
Fine, because most people they don't know what is risk preference.
mm,
Fine. So this gives us an idea because see, at the age of 50, now all you want is just like die like that at the same age. Now you are more afraid of this fall. So if you took
mm,
risk and if it went wrong, you end up making losses, which you don't want. So you will become risk averse. What will
mm,
you do if you become millionaire at the age of 60? Do you understand? So you don't want that growth now. The love for the growth is gone. At the age of 30, 20, 25, all right? Here, you are not scared of falling, right? Because you have time and energy. You can get back up. All right. So today you are not looking for stability, you are looking for growth. And then because of that, you are ready to take the risks. Okay.
mm,
Basically, this whole discussion was about the risk profile. Are we fine with that? Risk profile of people.
yes,
Okay.
mm,
So for you, 5% of increase in risk and 10% of increase in return is good enough. I will take the risk, no problem. For somebody they will be like like for every 1% of risk I should get at least 10% return. So for them this 25 is too low. And why they
mm,
are doing this? Because they are too scared.
mm,
Correct. So anyways, personal things do come in here. All right,
mm,
when you are talking about risk and uncertainty, your personal state of mind do come in into the calculation. Okay, so they were talking about personal traits, then allowing for uncertainty. How can we allow for uncertainty? Fine. Now, see, here they're talking about the role of market research. You will do the market research, you will have the focus groups. Fine, a focus group may be used to obtain quality view. Focus group, the categorized people, like where you want to sell the goods, you will do some research on them, focused.
mm,
Okay, not on the entire market. Fine, my market segment is this kind of people, so I will talk to these kind of people and I'll see what do they want. Okay, then types of data collected, quantitative, qualitative, all of this was in F2. Fine. Now here, three things you may get: worst, most likely, and best outcome. I
mm,
think you can understand that: worst, most likely, and best outcome.
yes, mm,
Like what is the worst case scenario, what is the best case scenario, what is the normal, which is like which can happen, what are we expecting. Fine.
mm,
And then we make payoff tables. Payoff. So I will show you a payoff table without all this. uh, this is what. Okay, we can do this also. Payoff table. Fine, we have to make a payoff table from this information. Okay.
Mm.
Now, payoff table is basically like this. Here you will have the scenario, okay? And here you will have the choices, your options. What can you do, right?
Mm.
Now, omelette company is trying to set the sale price of one of its product. Three prices are under consideration. So these are your choices: 4, 430, and 440. Now, what price you will choose out of these three? At the end of the day, you can just say, like, I don't care about any maths. I will sell at 440. What will you do?
Mm.
You can do that, right? Your business, correct?
Yes, sir.
So these are your choices. What is not in your hand? So the best, worst, and most likely. These are the scenarios which are not in your hand. This is the
Mm.
best, this is the most likely, and this is the worst. Okay. Now, if you keep the price as 4, the best possible scenario is you will be able to sell 16,000 units. Are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, we are never interested in units. We never were, and today also we are not. Fine. We are interested in what? Either profit or contribution. Now, fixed cost is 20. So every time it is going to remain 20. You can make a payoff table for profit. You can make a payoff table for contribution. Same thing, right?
So I can't hear you.
If contribution is high, profit will be high.
Mm.
Okay. So now I will make a contribution table. Fine.
Fine.
Best possible 15,000. So 16 and variable cost is 2. So 4 minus 2, contribution is 2, right?
Yes, sir.
2 into 16, 32,000. Means if I keep the price 4 and market is brilliant, then I can make 32,000 contribution. Fine.
Mm.
Most likely is 14,000. So 14 into 2 is 28. Okay. And worst is 10. So 10 into 2 is 20. Are we fine with this one?
Yes, sir.
Now you need calculator. Okay. See,
Yes.
if I keep the price 4.3, so 4.3 minus 2, now my contribution is 2.3, correct?
Mm. Yeah.
And 2.3 into 14,000,
32,200.
32,200. That's the best one. Most likely 12,500 into 2.3,
28,750.
28,750. Okay. And then worst possible is what? 8. So 8 into 230,
18,400.
18,400. Now 4.4. So best is 12,500 and 4.4 means contribution will be what? 2.4.
2.4.
So 2.4 into 12,500,
30,000.
30.
Yeah, 30.
Okay. Then 12,000 into 4.4. Sorry,
20, 28,800.
2.28,800. Then worst is 6. So 6 into 2.4,
14,400.
14,400. So this thing that you see here is known as payoff table. First of all, just the word payoff table is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this,
Mm.
fine, you have to choose which option you want. Okay.
Mm.
Which option do you want? Tell me. 4, 4.3 or 4.4? This you can't choose, right? Your
Yeah.
choices are here. You can't say, I want the best market, sir,
Mm.
because we don't know the market is what. Fine. So
Mm.
in this, what do you want in this scenario?
4.3.
4.3. Okay. Okay. Why? You are still optimistic. See, first time when I asked the question, then also you gave me an optimistic answer. Optimistic means risk seeker.
Mm.
You are thinking only good thing will happen to me. That is what you are thinking here also and here also. That's why you are not even looking at the risk. You are looking at the return. Acha, here it is more. Fine, I'll go with this.
Mm.
Okay. And here also, I think kind of you are doing the same thing.
mm,
Okay, here also you are doing the same thing. So anyways, personality traits, as I said. Now see, if we are talking about let's say a person like you, all right?
mm,
So optimistic person,
mm,
optimistic, optimistic. All right. So that means he will be a risk seeker, right? He's not
mm,
afraid of risk, correct?
mm,
Fine. So in this case, he will apply a formula called maxi max. Fine. In this method, what we do is first we find the maximum. Which one is the maximum in both the cases, in all the cases? So here the maximum is 32, right? Here the maximum is 32, 200, and here the maximum is 30, right? And then they maximize the maximum. Fine.
mm,
So find the maximum of the maximums, which is this. All right. So hence you are choosing this method 4.3.
mm.
Are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
And again, this was little bit rocket science. The easiest way out is look at this entire table. Do you see a bigger number than 32, 200?
No.
So like another way of doing this is what? Look at the table, find the highest number. Wherever
Mm,
it is, that is the policy we'll do because you are optimistic. You are thinking only good thing will happen to me.
mm,
Fine. Why will you select 4? Because the highest that you are going to get is 32. And
mm,
why will you select 4.4? The highest you will get is 30. So 32, 200 is better. Now, why
mm.
am I asking only about the highest right now? Why? Because you are optimistic, right?
Yeah.
Are we fine with this?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if you are pessimistic, too much afraid of risk,
Then we'll take 4, right?
risk averse, fine? Risk
Mm,
averse, you don't want to do. So again, here we have a method for you which is known as maxi-min. Maxi-min. Maximize, sorry, minimize the maximum. So, okay, maximax and maximin, yeah, minimax, minimax. No, it is maximin. The names are a little bit weird.
weird.
Maximin.
Okay.
What we do is, since this is a pessimistic guy, what is he thinking? Like, just try to understand because in the book they have taught you maximax, they have taught you maximin. That's it. Fine. All of these that we are doing is all homemade stuff. Fine. Why?
Mm,
Because it helps in understanding. See, here you were an optimistic guy, and then now, if you just understand the word optimistic, then you will know what to do, right? In this
yeah.
case, also see this guy is pessimistic. So what is he doing? How does a pessimist guy thinks? He will think all the bad things in the world will happen to him only, right?
Mm,
So he is thinking that if I will do project, I will take 4, then the worst thing will happen. So I will get 20 only.
mm,
If I go for 4.3, again I will get the worst thing that is 18,400. Again the worst thing 14,400. Only the worst thing can happen to me, right?
mm,
So if these are the worst scenarios, what is the maximum that can happen? Like, the best among the worst is this, right?
yeah.
So as per this method, he'll go with 4 because now his idea is because he's already expecting something bad to happen. If the worst thing happen, then also I will get 20. Correct?
Mm,
So 4 is better. This is maxi-min rule. Are we fine with that?
yes, sir.
What is you are risk neutral, normal, right? You are none of the above. You are a normal means risk neutral guy. Then what? Fine. So for
Mm,
you, we have two methods. So don't panic. Okay. Risk risk neutral guys. So we'll talk about that. Let's move on because in this part of the question they didn't ask you to do all this maximin and all that. They just
mm,
wanted you to make the prepare payoff table for the different possible outcomes. So we already did that. Fine. Now they have done with contribution only. Fine. And actually it is very simple. From all of these numbers, if you subtract 20, 20, 20 from all of this, it will become a profit payoff table,
Mm.
right? We will get loss over here, we'll get loss over here. None of the workings will change. Everything will remain as it is. Fine.
Mm.
Now, probabilities and expected values. Fine. Now, after teaching you the payoff, they moved into expected value because what now they are going to do is this. Pay attention. See, we were talking about the normal guy, right? Risk neutral guy. What will he do? Okay.
Yeah.
Now see, what he will do is he will go for probability because he has got no likeliness for risk. He is not dying to take risk. Neither is he too scared of risk. Okay.
Mm.
So what he'll do is this is called probability analysis, expected values. He'll find what is the probability of this best, moderate, and worst. So let's say the market will remain normal, that is 60% chance. Then 30% it will be best, and 10% it will be worst. These are the probability of the market. What is the probability that the market will remain neutral, normal? There's 60% chance that it will remain normal. There's 10% chance that it may get worse. And there is 30% chance that the market can be better than ever. Alright. So now you got the probabilities. Now you make a decision. What you will do, you will calculate expected value
Mm.
for the first project, that is 4. Okay, then you will calculate expected value for 4.3, expected value for 4.4, and wherever you will get the highest value, you will take that as the answer. Okay,
Mm.
expected value is what? Average. This is what neutral people do, right? They do their decision making on the basis of average calculations.
Mm.
So let's do the average. Okay, so this now we can see here. So let's start. See, 32,000 into 30%, that will be how much? 600, 9,600,
Yeah.
and then 32, 200, 30% of that. So 30% of that is this will be
Nine, six,
9660,
six,
and then 30% of this will be what? 18, no,
9,600.
9,000 only, and then 60% of 28, 14, and 2,800, so 16,800.
800.
Okay, and then here 60% of this will be how much?
17250.
17250, and then this one 17280.
7280.
Right. Now 10%, so 2000, 1840, and 1440. Right? We are talking about contribution. Remember, add all this. That is how you calculate expected value, right? Add all this and see what do you get.
For first one, 28,400.
28,400.
Yeah.
Second one,
28,750.
28,750. Okay. Third one, I think this will be low.
27,720.
27,720.
20.
Fine. So this one is the best one, right?
Yeah.
The highest expected value means we will choose 4.3. Okay. So a risk neutral guy will use expected value method, expected value, all right, and he will get 4.3 as the answer. So the answers can match. Fine, no problem with that. So don't panic there.
Mm.
Are we fine with this?
Yes, sir.
So there is one another method, fine, for the normal guy. They can use, there's something called regret table. Fine, they can use that. Minimum regret. They can use minimum regret table. Fine, now regret table means what? First of all, let me copy the whole thing. Fine, the scenario was best, most likely, and worst. Okay, BMW, very good. And here we had what? 4, 4.3, and 4.4. These were your choices. Okay, fine. Now pay attention. See, if the market is best, what is the best option for you? 4, 4.3, or 4.4? If
4.3.
if the market turns out to be best,
Mm.
which one is best for you? Which one?
4.3.
4.3 is the best, right? So
Mm.
if you have selected 4.3 and the market turns out to be best, will you regret something? Will you
No,
be like, I should have done that, not this?
no.
There is no regret at
Mm.
this level, correct?
Yes, sir.
But if the market is best and you have selected 4, then how much money you will be making? How much contribution? 32,
32.
right?
Yeah.
And you will keep on thinking that if I would have used this one, I would have got 32, 200, 200 more I would have got, right?
Mm.
So do you see and understand that at this stage you are having a regret of $200?
Yeah.
Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So you have zero regret and then you have 200. Now see, language wise it is, doing wise it is very easy. Take the highest one. In this case we are talking about contribution, so we are talking about the highest one. If we are talking about cost, we will talk about the lowest one as the best one, right?
Mm.
So the best, like the baseline is, don't memorize anything.
No.
Okay, as per the question we have to choose our method and our style of work. Okay, as far
Mm.
as this particular question is concerned, this is the highest one, so this will become 0 and then just calculate the difference.
Mm.
Okay, so this is 200, this is what, 2200. That is the regret. And now understand this line, because now I'll just do manual work. Do you understand this line? This is how we talk, all right? If the
Mm.
market is already best, then what is the best option? Fine. And if you haven't selected this and you have selected this one, how much regret you will have? How much regret you will have? Are we fine
Mm.
with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, if the market is most likely, then the best option is which one? The best option is this, right?
Yeah, 4.8. 800.
Correct. So
Yes.
28,800. This is 0. And then this one will be how much? The second one, 750. So here you will have a regret of $50,
$15.
right? And here you will have a regret of how much? 28. So 800. You will have a regret of 800. Fine. Then the third one, the best is this. Okay, 20. So this is 0. And if you have selected 4.3, you will be getting 18,400, right?
Yes.
So what is the
So
regret you will have? 1,600.
yeah, 1600.
And here 5,600, right? Yeah, the last one,
Yes.
14,400. So 5,600 is the regret. So this is our regret table ready. Okay. Now what do you want to do? Minimize the regret or maximize the regret? Think logically, common sense, no rocket science. What? You want to maximize the regret? You want
No,
to cry the louder?
minimize the regret.
Minimize.
Minimize the regret, right? So what you do is you first find the maximum regret. First, find the maximum. Okay, so if I choose this option, the maximum regret that I can have is $800.
Mm.
Okay, if I choose this one, the maximum regret that I can have is 1600 and 5600. Correct?
Yeah.
Now minimize this. So point is, if I choose option 4, all right,
Mm.
either I will be the happiest guy, okay, or the maximum regret that I'm going to have is 800.
Mm.
But if I go for this one, all right, if I go for 4 point, then what can happen? See, if I select 4.4 and the market turns out to be the worst market, then I will, like, I'll not like it. Correct? Because then I will think that if I would have selected this one, I would have got like $5,600 more. I'm losing 5,600 because of my decision.
Mm.
I selected the wrong thing. Do you understand? Regret.
Mm.
So first you find the maximum, that this is the maximum regret that I can have for this option, this option, this option. All right? And then you find the minimum out of that, that in which option I have the minimum regret. So if you select 4, okay, as per regret rule, fine, 4 is the best. They will tell you in the question which methods to use, so don't get too excited. Like, first understand till now what we have done. We have learned how to make the payoff table. We have learned how to do the max and maxi min. All right, because see, whatever it is, understand this. You want to maximize, right, the income.
Mm.
Okay, in both the cases. Fine. So it is max. Maximize the maximum or maximize the minimum. If you are too afraid, you will go for this risk averse. So you are, like, you are trying to find out what is the highest minimum, and maximize the maximum means like you are going all out, risk seeker, no problem with the risk, no problem with the risk. Just don't talk about risk to this guy. Fine. So always it will be maximax. It will never be minimax. Minimize the maximum. Why minimize? Because this is the second step, right? This is the first one. So in the first one, you find the maximum and now you want to minimize it. Why? Okay. Similarly, min. Minimize the minimum. Why? Do you see two ways? Either you, like, memorize all this, or try to attach it to some kind of common sense. Then you don't have to memorize, or you are not depending on your photogenic memory. You are depending on normal common sense. Okay,
Mm.
optimistic, pessimistic, risk seeker, risk averse, then maximax or maximin.
Mm.
Okay, and then we have minimax regret rule. This is known as minimax regret rule. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Minimize the maximum regret. Language wise, minimize the maximum regret. Minimax regret rule. Fine. So we are done with actually all of these methods. All right, but in the book they will go one step at a time and they'll give you various things. See now, and let's be little bit quick. Option A, probability profit, probability profit. All you need to do is multiply, do a total. Whichever is higher, you choose that option.
Mm.
Fine. See, this is exactly what they have done here. Multiply. Find this. They did a total 5,200, 5,800. So option B is better. We'll go with option B. This is called expected value method. This is called this one. Expected value method. Expected value is what? Expected value. Expected value is basically a probabilistic average. All right.
Mm.
We write it like this: summation of probability into the x value. That's it. Okay, this is called expected value. So probability multiplied by the number and then do a total. That's all. Find expected value and payoff table. So again, here they have given us a very brilliant question. Brilliant question, this one. All right. Read the question and tell me the scenario. And because first thing we need to make a payoff table, right? So for payoff, you need the options. You need the options. Like what are your options and what is the scenario? Like what is not in your control? Fine. Read the question and tell me. Are we done with this?
Yeah.
So can you guys answer now? What are the options?
20, 30, and 40.
20, 30, 40. Okay. And what are the scenarios?
0.2, 0.55,
One second.
0.25.
0.2, 0.55.
Yeah, and 0.25.
And 0.25. This is what it looks like probability to me.
Yeah, it is.
This is one, right? Probability. What
Yeah,
is the scenario? Like point two is probability of happening what? There is 20% chance of what? Okay,
weekly de-
20% chance of.
weekly de- weekly demand of the magazine.
Okay, how much? 20% chance of weekly demand. So 55% chance of weekly demand only, right?
No, no, it's like for 20, it's 0.2.
For 20, it's point 0.2, right? Is that what you are saying?
20 is the demand. Yeah,
Okay, take a look at this and tell me what, like, I think
yeah.
choices you have already made this one.
For 20 max, the probability is 0.2. 20 it's 0.55.
Okay, fine. And for 40, it is 0.25. So what is the scenario? Like, if you remember, this was in your hand. You had to decide what will be the price. This was not in your hand. The market will be best, worst, most likely. That was not in your hand. Okay. So that is how payoff table is made. See, these are your choices, and these are, see, best, most likely, and worst. These are the market scenarios. Now, the probability of this is 30, 60, 10. Are we fine with that? Okay. Now, similarly, if I ask you here that options, so you said 20, 30, 40, fine. So, what is the scenario? You started giving me the probability. Try again. I will keep the probability little bit aside here. Still, we are waiting for the scenarios, because once I get the scenario, then I will fill in this blank. So we need to fill this up, right? Only few things are missing. Okay. See, the answer is here also 20, 30, 40. All right. The thing is, in the question they have said that you will buy how many magazines. All right. And the demand of the magazines. These are the two things. All right. So will you buy 20, 30, or 40 magazines? That is your option. All right. Demand in the market. All right. Demand in the market can be 20, 30, or 40 magazines. And the probability of that is this, this, this. Are we fine with this?
Yeah,
Okay. This is your, like, how many units you will buy. And this is the demand in the market, 20, 30, 40. Fine. Now, see, they have said that, like, once the week is over, then what do you do with the magazine? You're saying something?
no,
Okay. So in the question, it says that at the beginning, you will be buying the magazines, and at the end, you will be throwing it if it is not sold. Okay. The cost of each magazine is 30 and you are selling at 50. So you are making a profit of 20.20. Fine. 0.20. Are we fine till there? Hello, you guys are here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I buy 20 magazine and I sell 20 magazine, how much money I will make? You are buying at point 0.3, selling at point 0.5 purchase cost. If you are buying 20 and selling 20, how much profit you will make?
4.
4. Now if you are buying 20 and selling 30, how much profit you will make?
Still 4.
Still 4. Fine. And if you are buying 20 and the demand is 40, you will be able to sell 4 only, 20 only, right?
Yeah.
Fine. Now similarly, see 30. So you are buying 30 and selling 20. So you will be making $4 profit on the 2020 sales. And the remaining 10 units which you are buying, which you are unable to sell, you will have to throw them, right?
Hmm.
So 10 into zero point 0.3, there is a loss of minus 3, right? Because of those 10 magazines. Okay. Or you can do the full maths. You will be able to sell 20. So 20 into zero point 0.5 is $10. That is your sales. Okay. And variable cost will be how much? Like the cost will be how much? 30 into $0.39. So you will get $1 profit. So either you do this maths, but this maths you will have to do 9 times for all of them. Okay. You'll have to do this 9 times. Fine. Or else you can use this maths, like little bit of maths here only. So you are selling 20 means purchase 20 and sell 20. So keep this aside. Done. $4 done. And on the extra 10 purchases, I'll be making $3 loss. So I'll be left with 1. $1 profit. Similarly, here I'm buying 40 and I'm selling how much? Only 20. So on 20 sold, I'm making a profit of 4, and the 20 extra which I'm buying, I'm making a loss of 6. So 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Buying 30, selling 30. So zero point 0.2 into 30 will give you 6. Correct?
Hmm.
And buying 30 and selling, like demand is 40, then also you will be able to sell 30 only. So this will remain same. Are we fine with that?
Yes.
Buying 40 and selling 30. So on 30 you will be making $6 profit, right?
Hmm.
And then the 10 extra you have purchased, you will make a loss of $3. So you will be left with 3 only. Okay? And buying 40, selling 40. So you'll be making $8 profit. Are we fine with this table?
Yes.
So this was the payoff table. Now what do they want? If the owner is to order a fixed quantity, how many should that be? Since the outcome occurs every week, every time, many time over, the easy decision rule is considered appropriate. Yeah. So anybody trying to say anything?
No, sir.
Fine. So expected value is what we have to use, and now I think it is easy for you guys because now you have the number and you have the probability.
Hmm.
Fine. So the expected value for 20 magazines will be what? It will be 4 times 0.2 plus 4 times 0.55 and plus 4 times 0.25. Your answer will be 4 only. Don't worry because 4. Okay. Now expected value for 30 is what? So there it is 1 into zero point 0.2 plus 6 into 0.55 plus 6 into 0.25. So 55 is 80. 80% of 6 is 4.8. 4.8 into zero point 0.2 is 5.
5.
Okay. And expected value at 40 will be how much? So minus 2 into 0.2 plus 3 into 0.55 plus 8 into 0.25. So do the maths and tell me. There is a minus, remember. How much do we get?
3.25.
How much?
3.25.
So this is the best, right? So we'll order 30 books. So they have done all this, the maths and everything, and 3.25. And finally, the strategy is 30 magazines each week. Are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
This is a good question. All right.
Mm.
Expect something like this in the exam. These are all time pass stuff. Okay. Because again, see, probability given, cost given, multiply probability given, cost given, multiply. Since we are talking about cost, you will choose the highest or the lowest one.
Lowest.
Done. That was the magical trick here. Okay. Read all these things carefully. Fine. Like limitation of expected value. What is the problem with expected value? Because see, what were we doing here? Taking average, right? Taking average and taking our decision. So like, I think that is the best scientific way, right? Mathematical way, sorry. If you have to take a decision, like for example, if I give you this whole chart, fine, 4 4 4 1 6 6 2 1 3 8, fine, which method you will choose? The most, like, logical, rational way is what we are doing. We are doing average. We are doing an average and we are taking the decision on the base of that. But see, the problem here is this. Our answer in this particular question that we just did, all right, in this question, our answer is this one, right? Means we'll be buying 30 magazines, correct?
Mm.
Now, our answer is based on what? Our answer is based on this number, right? 5. Point is that if I buy 30 magazines on an average, there are chances that I will earn $5, correct?
Mm.
Correct?
Can you repeat?
I'm saying the observation is that if I buy 30 magazines, all right, on an average, because we have done probability average here, so on an average my income will be $5, which is higher than the remaining.
Yeah.
So on an average I am expecting I will be earning $5, correct?
Yes.
Now if you buy 30 magazines, you will get either 1 or you will get 6 or you will get 6. Where is 5? Do you get my point? Your
Yes.
final answer is dependent on a number which was not even there. Right? Luckily, at some time, see, this is 444 and your answer is 4. This may happen, but most of the time, see, here you are getting average 3.25. Where is 3.25? Either you will get minus 2, 3 or 8. Where is 3.25? You are not going to get 3.25 ever, right?
Mm.
But your answer is dependent on 3.25.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Drawbacks. We are talking about drawbacks, right? So that is one of the drawbacks.
Mm.
That is one of the drawbacks. See, the expected value outcome that will occur in the long run, if it events occur many times over, it is a long run average. They are saying if you like, the average, the concept of average is a long run average. All right. The expected value of a decision may be a value that will never occur. This is what we were talking about right now. Expected value can be a number which will never occur, right? Like 5, it was not happening there. Then because the EV is an average value, it ignores the extreme outcomes. Fine. We are talking about average, right? So it ignores the extreme outcomes. This is what averages do. Fine. Like for example, if I tell you find the average of, and try to understand this, find the average of 1 and then 100, 101, 102, 100 again, 103, 102 again. Fine. And like this, I give you, let's say, 500 numbers, 500 numbers all together. Okay. And in those 500 numbers, all the numbers are between 100 to 110, means 499 numbers are here, only one number is 1. So the impact of this number will be lost, right, while you are doing the calculation.
Mm.
Fine, because now you will add almost like 499 numbers which are on an average, let's say 105, right? And then you will add 1, because one number is 1, so 1 into 1. This is your 500 numbers. Fine, and then you will divide by 500. So your answer will be way away from this, and it will be somewhere in between these numbers. Okay, so point is, an extreme number loses its value, right, when you take too many numbers and do average. Fine, but this exists, right? It may happen that you will end up getting this one. Then what will you do? This is a possibility, right? You can't say that, okay, just forget about this, let's concentrate from here only, right? This is also one of the possibility. This is what they're trying to tell you here, that even if there is a remote chance, there is a chance, right? And see, expected value is used to support a risk neutral attitude. So if you are risk neutral, then you will do expected value. Otherwise, if you are too optimistic, pessimistic, you have your own ways of doing the calculation. Now they are talking about other decision rules. Other decision rule is maxi-min, maxi-max, alright, and mini-max regret rule. Maxi-min, maxi-max and mini-max. So we have already done that, but again we'll get a question here and we'll do it with this question. See, this question, DEF.
Mm.
I can, yeah, I can do the copy paste. So let's take the whole thing. So if this is your payoff table, if this is the payoff table, okay, fine. Now tell me which point you guys want to start with. From where should we start? We'll do three things. Okay. So let's start with maximax.
Mm.
Too much positive, right? Maximax. Actually, the answer will be highest number is where 120. E will be the answer. Fine, but still, as per this rule, what are we supposed to do? Fine. So what we do is we find the maximum. Okay. So the maximum is 100, the maximum is 120 and 85.
Right.
Now we maximize the maximum. All right. So that will
Mm.
be this one. E
Okay.
is the answer. You want to do minimax, oh sorry, maximin. Fine. Maximize the minimum. So in this case, what do? You find the minimum first. So minimum is minus 20, 10, and oh sorry, 10 and 60. All right. So maximize this. So if even if my bad luck is too strong, still I'll be making $60 in project F. So I'll go for F. Fine.
Yes.
I will go for F. Then regret rule. So for that you need the regret table. Okay. So let's make the regret table. So it will be what? D, E, F, and scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3. Now, if scenario 1 is true, which one is the best? D is the best. Fine. So, if I have selected D, zero regrets.
Mm.
Is that okay?
Yes.
If I have selected D when the market is in this zone, this scenario, that's the best option I have selected, right?
Mm.
So there is no regret. Fine. And
Mm.
if I have selected E, I will think that I wish I would have selected D. So there is a regret of 20, there is a regret of 40. Similarly, 2, the highest one is this, so this is 0. And now there is a regret of 30 and there is a regret of 35. And in the third one, this is the best, so regret
So
is
regret.
0. And here there is a regret of 105. And here there is a regret of 75. Are we fine with this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what do you want to do with the regret? You want to minimize the maximum regret. So, find the maximum. This is 105, this is 75, and this is 40. So, minimize it. So, 40 is the answer. Alright, so minimax regret. As per that, you will also select project F.
Mm.
Are we fine with this?
Yes, sir.
See, it is not about the procedure, it is all about the language I am using, for me at least.
Mm.
Okay. Again, before taking the class, I didn't do any revision on this, right? How is all of this coming? Because I am not teaching you from my photogenic memory. I am trying to read the word because I have done that. I have connected the logic with the word.
Mm.
Fine. So when the question will say use minimax regret rule, fine. Minimax regret rule. I exactly know what regret means. I know what is mini and what is max. Minimize the maximum regret. So that way now, I will understand what that sentence, what that phrase means, and I'm just trying to deliver that. So no rocket science here for me. Okay. If you were like trying to memorize that, okay, this is very easy stuff. If this happens, then do this. If that happens, then do this. Then I don't know what to tell more in this. Fine, your choice. Go ahead, do whatever you feel like. I can't help it. Fine. So with this, see, we did all this. Okay, saying something.
No, sir.
Okay, I am hearing my own voice or what? Okay, so fine. We did all this, minimize, maximax, and all that stuff. Here they have given you this, and again they want maximax and maximin. So let's do it here only. Fine.
Mm.
Maximax. So what is the maximum here? See, the maximum is what? 80, 100, and 115. So as per maximax, C is the answer. Maximize the maximum.
Mm.
Okay. C is the answer. Fine. And who will do this? Who is too optimistic? So if it is too optimistic in this entire table, he will look at what? He will look at the highest number, and whatever it is, he'll do that project because he's thinking he's like very good on luck. Fine.
Mm.
All right. Maxi min, minimize. So this is negative, and here the minimum is 0. So if somebody who is too afraid will go for B only, right?
Yeah.
Because worst case, what will happen? Because if you are considering yourself to be the unlucky guy, then you will look at the worst case, right? So what is the worst case for B? 0. At least no negative, right?
Mm.
So they'll go for B. Here answer is C and the next answer is B.
Mm.
As 115, so C is what we'll do. And here as this, so B is what we'll do. Fine. Now they are
Mm.
talking about minimax regret rule. See here. Minimax regret rule. We have already done that, so that's why I'm not getting too emotional about this. This was the project DEF and this was the regret. Remember 0, 20, 40, 0, 20, 40, 30, 0, 35 and this. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So first we calculated maximum regret and then we minimized that. So 40 was the answer. And finally, the lowest of the maximum regret is 40. Fine. Of option F. So option F would be selected. So they have written, see, so much of dialogue for you guys. Please go ahead, read it. You will like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then contribution table is nothing new. All right. I mean, this shouldn't have been here. Okay. So please don't get too emotional about this. Because if you remember, where was that? We made one contribution table, right?
Yeah.
1 second. Where is it?
Starting.
Yeah, here it is, right? So now what should we call it? This one is a payoff table or a contribution table? I call
Contribute.
it payoff only. You also call it payoff only. Let them say whatever they are saying. All right?
Mm, mm,
Because it's the same thing. Fine. Anyways, now here it is not about contribution table that it's a new thing. All right.
mm,
Now in this question you will find the problem is that for making any kind of payoff table, because without payoff table you cannot start your work, right?
Yeah.
You need the payoff table. Now for payoff table you need to know what is the choice and what is the scenario. Remember?
Yes.
So what is in your control and which part of this you cannot control. So again, a small task for you guys. You tell me this, I will fill up the numbers, no problem. It will take 2 minutes. You just tell me what is the choice, what are your options, and what is the scenario. What is in your control, what is not in your control. Now I cannot be more precise than that. Go through, read the question, and tell me that.
Scenario will be 4, 5, 6.
Scenario will be 4, 5, 6. What is this 4, 5, 6?
Price. It will be.
Price.
Mm,
Okay.
Options will be 10, 12, and 14.
10, 12, and 14. So like 10, 12, and 14. What is 10, 12, and 14?
This one is the 10, 12, 14 is the price. 4, 5, 6 is the variable cost.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. This is good. Now just do one calculation for me. One. This one. That is, this is the choice. This is it. What is going to be here? Fine. Contribution is good. We don't want. They have given us fixed cost. No, right? So what will be the number there? What should be the number? All right, you guys are taking unnecessary time because it is all given here. See, 6957 contribution is already here. See, suppose the budgeted demand of product X will be this if the price is 10. So 11,500. Point is our options are not only 10, 12, 14. Our options are if you keep the prices at 10, you will be able to sell 11,500 units, right? And 8,500 if it is 12. So 8,500 if it is 12 and 14, 5,000. So this will be 5,000. All right. Now, this we have to do the calculation. Fine. So this is our option and this is the scenario.
STUDY. TEXT performance.
Okay.
Management.
This happened where in my one or okay. It started reading the book. Fine. Yeah, this one. So now all we need to do is fill this up and that is our table there. Okay. Now they have given you all the numbers, so no need to panic. See, price is 10, variable cost 4, fine, and demand is 11,500. So basically these two things 69. So here it will be 69. Fine. Similarly, if the price is still 10 and this is 5, it is 57.5 and 46. So 57.5 and 46. Fine.
So why not a unit contribution?
Why not unit?
Contribution.
I mean, I
No,
did give you. What do you
we are
want?
writing contribution right now, right?
Yeah.
In the table.
Why
Why
you
not
want,
unit
you want me
contribution?
to write 654, right?
Yeah.
Where should I write? Tell me. Should
In
I write?
place of 69,57.5.
Should I write 6, 5, and 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, it does make a big difference. Why? Because this is contribution per unit. Fine. Do you want to maximize contribution per unit or you want to maximize the total contribution? Tell me. What do you want to maximize?
The total contribution.
Why you want me to write? Do you get my point?
Yeah, but the rest of the things are in units, right? Like
No,
per
no, no.
unit.
Remember one thing. Wait. See, the quantity here is not same. Do you understand that? If the quantity is same, all right, I would have done what you are asking and still have managed to get the good answer, right? But the quantity is not same. And if I listen to you, I mean, this is what 654 and then what? 876, 1098. This is what we'll get. 876. 876. All right. So, like, let's talk about these two things. So, 8 sounds to be the best one, right? Looks like 8 is the best right now. Fine.
Yeah.
But then multiply it and see 8 into 8,500 because 8,500 units only, right?
Mm.
How much is that? 8 into 8,500, how much?
60.
68,000.
68.
Yeah.
So see, 69 is better or 68 is better? How can I take the decision on this 8 only?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So since the units are not same, this is what I was telling, since the units are not same, we can't do this one. The one that you are asking, like using contribution per unit. We can't do that right now. We'll use it for the maths. So let's get back to this. 69, 57.5 and 46, and then 68, 59, 51, 68, 59, 51, 50, 45, 40. So here it will be 50, 45, 40. I think, yeah. So we got all of these. Now, once the table drawn up, the decision rule can be applied. The decision is selected of the selection of the selling price. Okay. Now, maximum, like in the question they did told us which one to use, right? I was looking for that, but it is not mentioned. So fine. Now we'll use all that we know. Maxi max. All of this is now time pass stuff. See, maxi max. So which one are the maximum? The 69, 68, 50. These are the maximums, right? Maximize the maximum. So 69 will be the answer. Correct?
Yeah.
That means as per this, we will go for $10 as the price and we will end up selling 11,500 units and we will make 69,000 of what do you say? Profit, contribution. That's what we are expecting. But this is the decision we are going to take. If we follow maximin, maximize the minimum. So what is the minimum? 46, 51, 40. All right. And if you want to maximize this, this is the answer. So as per this, we will keep the price as 12 and we'll end up selling 8,500 units. Are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is the thing. Again, regret table, I don't think they have asked here, but even if they have asked, I hope now you can do that. Okay, they have regret. Fine. So let's do the regret table. Small one, let's make here only. Fine. So see, this is the highest, right? 69. In this line, 59 is the highest. So this is the highest. And in the last line, again, this is the highest, 51. All right. Now start subtracting. So here you will have 1 and here you will have 19. Okay. And 59.5, 57.5. So only 2, right? And
Yes.
here I think this will be 14.5. Okay. This will be 11 and subtract this. This will be what? 5.
Right.
So this is our regret rule, regret table. Fine. What is the maximum regret? So here the maximum regret is 1, 5 and 19. So the minimum regret is this one, 1.
Yeah.
So we'll end up with what? 12 and 8,500 units. That will be our answer. Okay. And here you can see that also. Maximum regret of $1,000. So price will be 12. Are we fine with this?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll talk about decision tree. Okay,
So can we find more questions in this?
we'll
Weighted
find more question on the regret table and all that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, in the
can we?
revision kit you will get some.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and I think I have given you guys the Kaplan book of F5, right?
I think I
Like
still
the
have
soft copy.
Kaplan. I don't have.
You don't have, right? Okay, one second. You have the workbook, correct?
Yeah, we have the work.
So in the workbook, haven't they given you some different questions on this?
Let's see. Yes, so we have some questions, some new questions.
Same question?
No, some new questions we have, which
You
we
have some
didn't.
new questions, right? Just let me check. This is what. Okay. This is Kaplan, which we don't want right now. Okay. I have this workbook somewhere. I'm just trying to find out. One second. I think here what PM F5.
We have new questions in the workbook.
What?
We have new questions.
You have new questions, right? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to find out where it is. Where is the book so that we can do that question. Can I access the server? Performance management. Performance management. So hopefully this is the book.
In 2019. Yeah. Study book.
This is the. Oh, acha, fine. Yes, I have opened this 2020. So we must be having 21. Yeah, here it is. Yes. So all the new books are here. PM workbook. This one is what I want. Copy and paste. Unit contribution. Okay. This is your book, right?
Yeah.
What do we want right now?
This
What
one.
were we doing? Okay, this mini max. So let's write maximum. Okay. I forgot. I don't think I can do copy paste here. Yeah. Okay, so where is it? Page number
253.
253.
Yeah.
So let's say 273. What? Display all possible contributions. Yes. So these are joint probability stuff. 253 you said, right? So
Yes.
here we are. First A and B is the same question. Then this question is also same, right? IB news agents.
That one is the same one.
This is the same one that we did. Weekly
Yep.
demand 20, 30, 40.
Mm.
Okay. So if I just change this, now here what do we have? Jatinder must decide how best to use a monthly factory capacity of 1200 units. All right. Demand for regular customer is risky and could be either this or this per month. Fine. So this is something that we don't know. 400, 500, 700. It can be anything. Regular customer generates contribution of $5 per unit. Okay. Now Jatinder has the opportunity to enter a special contract which will generate contributions of only 3 per unit. So generally we go for 5, we earn 5, but now we'll be getting only 3. Now for the special contract, she must enter a binding agreement now at a level of 900, 700 and 500 or 500. Fine. So now this is the choice. Either you can go for 900 or 700 or 500. Fine. Display all possible contributions in the table below. All right. So try
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
cell 900 and 400. Just try this one. And what do you think? The capacity is 1200. Okay.
Mm.
The capacity is 1200. Keep that in mind. So if you will take this contract for 900 units, then you are left with how much? Spare capacity. Okay, now see, if you will take 900 units, you will be able to sell only 300 more. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because your overall capacity is 1200, so you can't go beyond this, right? In this case, how much money you will earn? Into 3 into 5, right? So 9 into 3 is 27 and 15. So 27 and 15 is how much? 42, I think. Check. My plus is mine not that good. So 42,000 is the contribution I will be getting in all the cases, because now whatever is the demand, see, I am making only 300 units, right? So this is the profit in all the cases. Are we fine with this? Hello.
It's 4200.
4200 only. Fine. I'm getting emotional then. Yeah, 4200. You are right. Done. Can we move forward? 7. So if this is 7, that means you have a spare capacity of 500. So first fill this one. Okay. So that will be how much? 700 into 3 and 5 into 5. Okay. So 25 and 21. That is what? 46. So if the demand is more than 500, then also we will be delivering the same amount. The problem is here because I will be able to sell 700 and the demand is only 4. So 100 will be spare capacity. Okay. So 700 into 320, 100 I will make from this contract, and 400 into 5, 400 into 5, that is how much? 2000. So 4100 is all I will get. Are we fine with that?
Hmm.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So remaining, if you do 500, if you do the contract for 500, then you are left with what? You are left with
700.
700 units. Correct? So that is this one. Fine. So let's do the maths for this. You will be getting 3 for from here and 5 from here. So this is 15 and this is 35.
Right, sir.
That is like 5,000. Okay.
Yes.
But if you are doing 500, then you will be able to sell only 500. So 5 into 3, 15, and 5 into 5 is 25. So that is 4,000.
Hmm.
And again, coming back to this one, you will be getting 1500 from here, but then at this point you will be getting 4 into 5, 2000. So that is like 3500 only. Are we fine with this?
Yes, sir.
That is, I think that is all that they wanted. Now if they ask you to do maxi, max,
That is
maximum, I hope, like,
yes.
no problem with that.
No problem, sir.
Now see, these little bit of variations will be there.
Hmm.
That will be there. You're not going to get a like already done kind of question which you have tried 10 times and they'll just change the number and give it to you. Some differences will be there. That's why understanding is more important than, like, than just memorizing that in this case do this and then do that. Okay.
Okay.
Limitations, we have done this. We have already seen how to get this solved. Okay, joint probabilities we haven't done yet. Okay, joint probabilities will come when we will do the expected value in this book. Now here, when we'll start doing the decision tree, all right, here you will find this joint probability stuff. Fine, like 80% chance here and then again 70 and 30%. So now 80 and 70 is joint probability. Fine. So let's do one thing. Let's keep it till here. You have the workbook, you have the text, and you have the revision kit. All right. From all of these, find the things that we did today, this maxi, max, maximin, and all that, and finish it, because now we are left with one important and big thing, that is decision tree. Okay. This is important. So once we do decision tree, we have got two very simple stuff, that is sensitivity analysis, sensitivity, and simulation. So these are very simple stuff, not asked too many times also, but this is there in the book, so that's why we'll discuss. So most probably, if we are quick enough, we'll be able to finish this in the next class. Okay. And then we'll be done with this entire segment, and we can, like, spend at least 1 or 2 classes on the revision kit of this part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's keep it till here only for today, because now starting decision tree at this point is not advisable.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So can you send a plan book?
You okay? Fine. I'll send that
Workbook also.
workbook or the revision kit.
This one, the workbook which we did just now.
You don't have the workbook? Okay.
No.
No problem. No problem. I'll send that. Fine. Like, Sahal, which book do you have with you? Like the soft copy. I'm not talking about the hard copy.
The
Fine.
BPP, both revision and the other one.
You have the revision and the study text.
Yeah.
So study text is the old one, right?
No, the new one. The
Work.
Satya sent me.
Okay. Okay.
So it's the workbook, I think.
That is the workbook.
Is it? No.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah. Just check that, because this year they haven't published the text. So if you have this, see, this is June 2021. All right. And the book
Oh,
that
yeah,
I am
that's the
using,
workbook.
what?
Yeah, that's the workbook.
That is the one that I was using in the class is the study text which ends on June 2020 something. See,
Okay.
it ended on June 2020.
Mhm.
Fine. And this year they haven't printed study text. Actually, they are not like continuing with the printing of this. Fine.
Yeah.
So now they are giving us the workbook. That's why we are also giving you guys the workbook. Fine. If you want this book, I'll send you this also because in performance management, nothing changes. I'm teaching this subject for the last like 4.5 years now. All right.
Mhm.
The book, the thing that we did on first day, exactly everything is same. What has changed, last year, they changed this. See, these two chapters, chapter number 1 and 2, all right? Earlier, they were at the bottom included in this group in part E. Part E used to have, actually, there was no part E, there was only part D. This was part C, and in part D, you will have these two and those two chapters. So, like 5 chapters in part D in the old book. Now, what they did, they took those 2 chapters, put it at the top, and created a separate group for it. So, now this becomes part A of the book, and it talks about something different now. That is the same thing, nothing has changed. Okay, but still ACCA, BPP and Kaplan, they love to do these kind of magical things. What can we do? Same with F9, nothing has changed. And in F9 and costing, nothing can change. It is not tax, it is not accounts, right? That the IFRS will change. Okay, but anyways, no problem. Fine, I'll send these things, the book also.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.